See if I can kind of
A
adjust.
minute early, it's gonna pop.
Tell me when you're.
We're technically live, but no one's on there. All right, Tim.
Okay.
We're live. We're doing a countdown.
Countdown.
This is my favorite intro ever.
It's a jam. It's a bop.
I'm really sad that the TikTok people can't hear it
Well, you know, if they didn't force everyone in their platform,
one of these days.
No matter where you're from, all around the world.
Well, we'll just do it.
It's when you
If we can remember the
Remain.
end, we'll try.
You'll just remain.
If we just remember the end.
It's hilarious.
Well, we're live.
Such
We're
a
back.
low energy start. I am back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I am back because yet again,
Hey.
hi you guys. Yeah.
Welcome
Dang,
to
I just
the Up Top Treats Show,
yeah,
where we talk about candy and a lot of other weird stuff.
everything honestly.
Anything else?
Yeah, we're actually. I know this is a surprise to everyone. We're actually going to kind of change things up a little bit again. So if you didn't know, we have an audio version of this, which is called a podcast. If you've heard of them,
You've been under a rock.
yeah, if you've been under a rock for the past like 20 plus years, you can listen to this back in audio form wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and that's always a fun thing to do. Make sure you subscribe. Click through the episode if you were here for it, or just listen in and everything. So we're gonna try to structure things where it's more focused on we're having a discussion.
Yeah.
We're doing a podcast. We're still gonna do the candy giveaways. Don't
Steven
you worry.
hates the giveaway, but we'll do the
Don't
giveaway for the
hate-
TikTok folky
Don't
wokes.
hate them.
And
I mega
for
loathe.
all the other people alive in the world, we're just gonna have a nice fireside chat
Right.
and get some good conversation going. So hey, check it out on TikTok if you're live, or anywhere if you're live.
Right.
Add to the conversation. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
100%.
But if you're gonna give us egg emojis, we might just not.
I forgot
might
about
just
the
skip.
egg emoji.
We might just skip the old talking to you part.
We're gonna go ahead and get this away because I know we're gonna get asked a few
All right,
times.
so get it set up.
If we get to 10,000 likes, we're giving away 5 of these OG moon rocks. We're giving We're giving away the old OG. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Tiffany did make a pretty awesome comment here, and that's another thing I'll get to in a second. She did say, "I like the Starburst. They taste just like orange Tic Tacs." That is good.
I haven't heard that.
I
yet.
love orange Tic Tacs.
Those are supposed to be mints, but I used
No,
to
I-
always
I
get
just
them
eat
at
'em.
Easter, and
Just
yeah,
eat 'em.
the whole container is gone.
Yeah, you just eat them like
You don't keep the container for more than a day, do you?
Yeah. No, I used to break it because I was a little boy and destructive.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you,
I'd
what would
crack it.
Oh, you crack it?
I'd
I would
crack it.
rip the
The top?
little thing off.
Yeah. But yeah, also to kind of complete that thought. So 10,000 likes, we'll give away 5 OG. You guys know how it goes. You enter a phrase that we'll specify once we hit 10,000 likes, and then we'll give a 15-minute countdown or whatever.
It's 10 minutes.
10-minute countdown or whatever.
That's what the people wanted.
And we'll tell you the word, and then we'll just move on from there.
And then bang.
As for chats, if it's like conducive and like makes sense with the conversation we're having, I would love to include you guys in the conversation. But if we just do a giveaway, I'm probably just gonna skip those. Just to be honest, I'm the jerk. But anyway, so we've got
Scrooge.
a pretty fun off the cuff episode for you
less
guys.
prepped this week. See if anyone can tell.
Yeah, right. What are we talking about today, Parker?
I gave this a Wheel of Fortune title, and it's Christmas break and breaking ceiling tiles jammed together. So it's Christmas breaking ceiling tiles. It's two things. We didn't want to just do a Christmas episode because that's boring. But we also, around this time, always get nostalgic about our Christmas breaks or our childhood memories or our, especially school breaks. So then Stephen had the idea of talking about school and childhood memories. So we have some stuff about that coming up. And then just recently today, we had round 2 of a ceiling tile story. And that we just can't leave this kind of real drama out.
No, you gotta. And I wasn't here for part 1.
Okay.
And I was kind of here for part 2 by the fact of I saw it in our group chat.
Saw the results.
Had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. Won't be it's hard to explain how awesome this was, and I know I'm bragging, but it's like the one thing I can do in life that's cool, being small and nimble.
Being small.
So anyway, stay tuned, and
We'll get into that.
we'll get into
We'll
that.
get into that. Cool. Yeah.
All right. So to start us off, Mr. Steven,
Mr. Steven.
I talked to ChatGPT today.
How's she doing?
She's doing great, and she gave me a little help in the direction we were wanting to go.
Right on.
All
Right on.
So here's the first one. Tell me a funny or memorable story from your elementary school days. Hopefully you graduated from elementary school.
I gotta go.
I have some notes here, just from mine.
Okay,
I have
okay.
milk,
Smells.
PE class,
Right.
field trips, and assemblies.
Right.
Those are things that just immediately popped out
So
to me. What
from
do you think?
From
Elementary school.
So, I mean, I had a pretty good elementary school. I, just kind of had I was friends with a lot of people. Just kind of there's not a lot of
Not a ton of drama.
not
in
a lot of
elementary school.
drama except for you guys know my main goal here is to embarrass myself in front of camera and on microphone because it brings me some kind of satisfaction. I remember just having in 6th grade, my friend Mason and I had the longest hair,
Yeah.
And when my hair hits at about for those on the audio medium, about mid-ear length, it starts to curl. It sits kind of flat and then
mop.
it curls. It's
That's
very
like a
Italian.
that's like a new thing now.
Yeah.
That's in.
It just gets really annoying.
But it wasn't then, I'm sure.
Right. So I remember my little friend group just just little curly Q hair the whole time.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, there was one thing we did. So when we got out of our classes at my elementary school, the way I would go back, because I'd walk to my great grandmother's every day after school, and my friends, we all lived in the same direction, we'd race down this hill. And the amount of times that someone just ate it,
Oh yeah.
down the hill and just went flying. That's a pretty good memory.
All right.
I don't think I ever fell. I didn't win a lot, but I sure as heck didn't ever fall.
You know that's a competition somewhere in man, I'm gonna get this wrong.
Running down a hill.
Yeah. You literally tumble down the hill. You can't run.
Right.
But you learn to fall with grace down this hill.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well,
sounds-
and,
sounds familiar.
you-
I'm not sure 6th grade counts as elementary school. I'm gonna call that out.
Really?
Yeah.
My elementary school was kindergarten through 6th grade. So I'm going to go ahead and rebuttal that.
Maybe in tiny schools they're split because I went to a different school for
My son
grades
goes
5
to
and
6. My son goes to 6, 7, 8. For
yeah, and a
middle
lot
school.
of, and I think that's common 6, 7, 8.
Right.
So that would
that's
be
common.
middle school.
Mine was different, but I also grew up here. And
Ah.
so, in my district up in Jefferson County and all that. But what I was going to say,
Okay.
finishing up that last thought about running down the hill, is as you know, having some medical training, when you're that young, your bones aren't solid. So,
Yeah.
people would just bounce off of the jungle gym
Yeah,
and the monkey
you're
bars.
like
You know,
Harry
when you
Potter.
try to run in between the swings, when people are swinging and someone just catches a boot to the cheek,
Oh jeez.
fine. You just
Yeah.
get up.
I
You might
remember,
cry a
I
little
remember
bit.
a couple times running away from somebody, looking behind me, and then there was a bar right there, and just boom,
Right,
full
just
blast, just
catching
my
it.
head just right in the,
Catching it.
just dome rocked right in the forehead.
Because you're just jello and skin at that point.
It hurts so bad. It hurts so much worse than anything, kind of as an adult. I will say, speaking of pain, and it's not terrible pain, I was pretty active, playing
Sports.
sports,
Me
right?
Me too.
And then you'd fall on that asphalt that somehow had rocks sticking out of it,
Always.
right?
It wasn't
Yeah,
flat.
not
It was
flat,
just
no.
gravel
Yeah,
based.
literally just junk asphalt with literal shards of rocks sticking out.
Right.
And then your palms would just be scraped.
Just gone.
And literal rocks of shards of glass.
Have
or whatever
you
in there.
gotten road burn or gravel burn recently as an adult?
I haven't.
I had it
worse
so
or less?
it's so much worse when I was
because it hasn't been long. I
Right.
feel like I was like, oh, again?
right, and you're just like, ah, man, and you would just
Just,
scrape
Yeah,
5
just,
layers of
put-
skin
Put
off.
some blood on your legs.
Right.
Let it kind of soak in.
Nowadays, I bounced when I fell when I'm learning how to inline
and then keep
skate
going.
for hockey.
Yeah.
I caught an edge and I had lost my footing and I ended up boom and skidding and just carving my hands. Yeah, Mandy here, it's worse than an adult. It is so much worse because you feel not only is it you scrape your palms, but you're also like, "Ugh, the child in me is gone. Like
Yes.
you just that
Yes.
comes roaring back, which is just fantastic. But
Mm-hmm.
another thing is like with elementary school, do you remember how often you'd knock the wind out of you?
Oh yeah.
It was constant. It was constant. You'd fall. I remember one time we were playing kickball in a dust devil came in, like those mini tornadoes,
Right.
and it picked up enough steam to pick a kid off the ground who was already getting like jumping, and it threw him on his back, and he fell from like
4 feet or something.
dude, it was probably like 5 or 6 feet. Like, it was up
29
there
feet.
for a child,
Like a cat in a tree.
and you're just like just standing
I've had
in a
few
circle.
of those gut checks in football, just
Yeah.
a helmet to the gut, or like Charlie horses in basketball. You go around a pick and someone's kneecap goes right in your thigh. You start limping around. Those are really bad too. But yeah, let's talk about some non-painful memories.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Tim, will you hook me up with your phone again? Sorry, just FYI, just side piece.
How dare you?
Lock
Oh,
me out.
that's the reason you gave it back to me.
I
like you
can't
did.
see. I want to see what people are saying.
Mandy does say it's like you find fear as you're an adult. As you're falling, you're scared. You're not as a kid.
That's totally right.
That's
when
so
I was
right.
a kid, I feel like especially now that I've gotten past my 20s, I know that sounds stupid, but
Me too.
when I was a kid, I was daredevil. Like,
Right.
I was really, like you said, nimble. So even when accidents occurred, like, you fix yourself as long as you're not dead.
Right.
You're good. And then now, you kind of got to get more and more careful about
Yeah.
what you do. Like this morning, my back hurts, and I have a bruise on my I'm not lying. I have a bruise on my bicep. And I was in the bathroom this morning, and I didn't know how either occurred.
Yeah, you just get bruises.
Yeah,
You have to have a bruise journal.
yeah.
You're supposed to write these
a
things
Bruno?
down when you
A
hit
And so
yourself.
now,
You're like,
I even know, like, oh, it's yellow, so it's pretty new. So it happened yesterday.
Right.
No clue.
Just no idea.
Nope.
Well, so yeah, and like Mandy, we use caution daily as an adult. As a kid, you're not privy to like what's going on in the
Yeah,
world
you
and all
don't
these
have risk
threats.
assessment.
You're just me play, me kick ball, me
You-
run fast.
I also
Yeah.
I used to be really selfish, and I'm becoming less and less. Like now I'm like, well, if I'm an idiot, then my wife suffers, or my mom suffers, and I
Yeah.
never really thought about that because I'm an idiot until lately. Like if you have a good mother, which I do,
Oh,
and
yeah.
my wife does too. When you're in pain, they feel that too.
Right.
It's just like, man,
You don't want to hurt other people, but back then you just kind of
yeah,
like
you just don't care.
you just kinda
Or
like-
you never even think about it. That's it.
and like I know this is a tangent. We'll get back on topic, but like as a teenager, I often nowadays, especially because like I
Look, Tim, it's
turned
black.
30, I turned 30 9 days ago.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, okay, he's old as time.
I got new fake teeth.
I'm
You
probably
think
right there
they're
behind
real,
you.
but man, I got them knocked out when I was a kid again.
Right.
Going to
Kid.
SWAT this shot, I was showing off, and
Mm-hmm.
then now for the rest of my life, I have
Fake teeth.
I have stumps
Right.
that have to be covered.
Right.
Just
brutal.
Dang,
But yeah,
this wasn't supposed to be like this.
it wasn't
Steven.
supposed to be.
We're
I
supposed
always
to talk
have to go
about
like,
Christmas break.
right.
and
We're getting there.
elementary
We're
school
getting there.
memories.
You have to go up the hill on the roller coaster to experience the
my
fun coming down.
Dang.
But I thought about
climb
that
it.
when I was like because I turned 30. So I'm like, how many times was I just a complete jackass to
A
my
lot.
mom as a teenager?
Tons. And you
And I
don't even
thought I
remember.
wasn't. Yeah, and I
Oh,
don't even
sure.
remember.
And you don't have the capacity to know what you're doing either.
No,
and that's
because
okay.
you're just
You're
focused
just
on
focused
yourself.
on on you.
Anyway, yeah.
Thanks, homie.
yeah,
so-
I don't know why it's going back to
I
black.
don't know either. Okay, all right, let's switch this up. Although I do have one more funny story
go for
now
it.
that we're talking about pain.
Right,
All
right.
right, cool. So I don't think they do this anymore in PE, but I haven't been in a few years. What's that stand for? Physical education.
PE.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
Physical education.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we had these. We had the Olympic Games, and we were probably like
Right.
4 or 5. Wait, no, 5 or 6 years old because it was like kindergarten. or whatever,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
So somebody, and we had partners. So of course I had like my athletic friend, and you
That's
had
good.
yeah. So we just crushed everyone, real fair.
Yeah.
So we had somebody with a jump rope, and they're the horse. Chariot races. That's
Oh
it.
my gosh.
They're the horse, and then the jump rope is held by somebody on a scooter, and then you're supposed to run the horse runs around the gym, and then whoever can go around a couple times and you switch horses and then you
Right.
go around wins.
Right.
But what they didn't tell you is if you go really fast, then the chariot
It goes
drifts.
out. It goes out. Yeah.
It drifts.
That's what happened too with
so
chariots.
you have to
The
well,
Roman
yeah.
Empire.
Yeah, they didn't tell us that.
How many times do you
So,
think
of
about the
course,
Roman
I always
Empire?
started as the guy on the scooter, and you basically it's like prep to football. Like you just take a hit on those pads next to underneath the basketball goals.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if your partner isn't nice, there is no pad.
And they accepted that. You know,
These
I
teachers
like
were watching this
I like
happen.
that in elementary school they only padded under the basketball because
Yeah.
the running back and forth and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I did have in my elementary school the back wall was one of those temporary walls that could be opened up into the cafeteria, but they padded those. So I was like, 3 out of 4 walls is more than most
Yeah, that's nice.
elementary schools. So
Dang. Okay. Anyway, that's my tangent.
we have already talked about the giveaways. 10,000 likes. That's my one reminder. I figured I'd address it if people are joining late. I wish
Welcome. Talking about candy
wish
and
we
all
could put
other
a-
weird stuff.
I'm gonna make a sign.
We need a banner.
I'm gonna just make a sign to hold up. I'll do that for next show. Anyway, so I see number 2.
You want to move on?
I see number 2 is fun school project or assignments, and I'm not gonna say what your parentheses are, but I would like to hear about that first before I get into mine.
Okay. You want to hear about mine?
Is it now? Is this elementary school
It's
or
not.
It's okay. Cool.
I have an elementary school story. It's really short.
Right.
A friend of mine, Bryn Stewart, his mom, I'm gonna get this wrong, was native to South Korea, and
Oh,
we had
wow.
to study a country, blah blah blah, and so we did all this history. But what was really cool is that she was available to come in, and she cooked food. So we
man.
of course won
Right.
the best
Right.
best booth because she was cooking legit
Like South Korean.
South Korean food.
It's
and
Korean food, not South Korean food. But you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just something about like you say it, but like I had it once, and my brain was just like, oh
So
my,
good.
what is umami?
Right.
And you just don't get that here
don't know.
ever. You just don't get
I
that
don't know
here
if it's
ever.
called umami.
I didn't know that at the time. But that's
Umami.
what it is. Oh, mommy. Okay. Anyway, my story. I was in geometry class, and I made a 2-story putt-putt golf hole. We had to.
Oh, that's cool.
It was pretty sweet. It was like, okay, let's make geometry fun. You have to build this hole, and then you have to show like if you hit the ball at a specific angle, how it'll go in every time.
Oh, I get you. I get you. Kind of proving the concept of golf. Kind of.
Well, yeah, or
Like-
pool,
or
or,
pool or
geometry.
anything
I mean,
like
it's
that.
just like duh, but
Yeah.
it's also fun.
You say duh.
Oh.
Math not very. Mm-mm.
I will say geometry is my least favorite when we're
Mm-hmm.
talking like, hey, let me bounce it off that wall, and then I bet it'll go this far off that
That's
way.
cool.
That's cool.
Like
when
that.
you're talking about prove this
Yeah.
theorem or
The 47.
what's this
percent
angle? Yeah,
angle,
what
like-
angle is this?
Who
I'm like, you know what?
cares? Anyway.
Hard pass.
Yeah. I mean,
You have any cool
so
school,
yeah,
school
so
projects?
anyway,
Any volcanoes or
no, I never
the
really
yellow one's the sun.
did. And they go around it.
I call it cup of dirt. Have you heard that from Brian Regan?
Yeah.
Hey, this school project. He's like, I call it cup of. Just put an F on there and,
Yeah,
and
cup
let
of
me
dirt.
go home.
Dude, Brian Regan's amazing.
Oh man.
His when he's talking about like he's talking about hospitals. It's like one of my favorite bits that he ever does. Yeah, he's like, I'll
He's
be
like-
the one lying on the floor.
Yeah, it's just like I can't give it a 9. My femur isn't getting cut in half or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, he's
My
fun.
favorite assignment was in
Okay.
8th grade. I had a high school teacher, Mr. Detweiler,
Mm.
and you know that if they left an impact,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know
So
his
he's the
name.
reason I love history.
Oh, okay.
I've told this story to you guys before, but so we did a Civil War unit that was half the year. We went to Gettysburg, but
dang.
he cared about history so much that he drilled us as a Civil War unit. He assigned ranks, and we learned how to like march. Just because he's like, hey, this is what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was a part of it. Like imagine walking in these lines and someone's shooting at you. Granted, with like some of the most inaccurate
So
firearms
what?
ever, but they're shooting at you.
you.
Hold fire! Like it's ridiculous.
Oh my-
The coolest
If
thing
you've
is
seen The Patriot, that's like maybe the one visual I've seen. where there's
Glory, right?
There,
No, is Glory? Glory's
There's several, but it's I mean,
Patriot.
it's hard to imagine.
no, but I'm saying the Glory is a Civil War movie with like, yeah,
I hear
anyway.
you.
Denzel Washington.
hear
Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman. But yeah, and so we get done with our unit, and it was like the last couple of weeks of the unit, last couple of weeks of middle school, 8th grade. We're going to high school, and we go into his room, and there's just a sign. It's written on the whiteboard, and then there's like a sign up. They say both the same things, and it says, meet me out near the soccer field. And everyone's like, okay. So we go out there, and we had like another teacher lead us out there because, you know, don't trust 8th graders. They'll just run off into the woods.
Right.
And so we walk out there, and he's in full Union garb with a cannon, like an actual cannon. He's like, we're going to learn how to shoot this today.
Dang. Where did you get this from? His house?
Yeah. No, I'm sure he had to bring it in a museum, but it was a firing replica. We fired blanks of a Civil War cannon, and I got
dope.
to
Plunge
pull
it or whatever.
I got to pull the firing
Oh, you got
cord or whatever. Oh my gosh.
What did you yell before you pulled it?
And that sucker went like 4 feet back.
Oh yeah.
Because we had to pull off to the side.
pull off to the side, and then it has
Right.
wooden wheels or something.
Yeah, and it's just like boom, and it rolls back and then it rolls forward. They had the wood set down underneath. That was probably the coolest assignment.
That's pretty dope. That just goes
Yeah.
to show you, like, some teachers deserve
Right.
to be teachers and most don't.
And I got to give a shout out to my choir teacher who we've talked about, because it was kind of an assignment, but we submitted ourselves to this world renowned composer Sidney Guillaume, and he's from Haiti, and because he's like, I'm offering whoever wins gets to premiere and record the track for this song I wrote about Haiti. And about these like very like colorful buses that like drive around the city, and he did it, and we won, and so he flew out, and we spent months learning the song in Haitian Creole, and then we recorded it live down here at the Broadmoor,
Oh no.
the Broadmoor,
That's
where
an
they hold
inside joke.
CMEA,
Okay.
the Colorado
Music
Musicians Educators Association.
Association?
Yeah. And we were there almost every year for like 15, 20 years, because the high school, my teacher was incredible. And so that was rewarding in a different way. But shooting a cannon as in 8th grade is one of the highlights of my life. But yeah, so I had to give a shout out to Christopher Manu, who's out in Portland directing Big Boy Choirs.
Did
So
you guys ever have like a discovery day or a field day where you go from like station to station, like school's canceled, you learn a bunch of science, learn a bunch of weird stuff?
it was more like science day kind of style, outdoor lab, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like build a penny boat with this many
Right.
drops of water,
Right.
or
Creek races with like, you had to build a boat that could withstand not just the water, like, and then it had to be able to hit stuff. We did that too.
Oh, we
That was
didn't
cool
do
because
that.
we had a
That sounds
creek
awesome.
right outside of our elementary school.
that's a
That was pretty
you
cool.
just one up me like that.
Oh, oops.
Anybody on the chat have cool field days, projects, anything cool from your childhood, from your school?
Yeah, shout it out and I'll read it off.
Let's see what we got out there. I know my wife always talks about this story of hers. So we're from Kansas. She had this really awesome science teacher, and he taught her human body or human biology, whatever you want to
Right.
call it. And then she's now a doctor, so that helped a lot.
Yeah.
And then, but what was really cool is they went out to Estes Park or Estes Park, however you say it.
Estes.
And
Estes.
some people say that. And
They're wrong.
Okay.
As a native, they're wrong. It's
in
Estes.
Rocky Mountain National Park.
Okay.
And there was just like a bunch of girls, I think, and then like a couple of teachers, and then they take this trip out there. I hear that.
I'm so sorry. I really want this.
They take these. They learn to like draw pictures of flowers, and they learn about botany and
That's like an outdoor
animals,
lab.
And yeah, it was
Yeah,
like a
that's super cool.
like this super like environmental like micro class or like a fast class. We don't have anything new in the shop, Kai, but we do have some stuff coming out in 2024.
Ooh, yeah, we do.
Got some Star Worms coming out. They are kind of sour. Call them tart.
They're
gummy
tart.
worms.
They're tart. They're
They're
great.
really good.
Yeah.
Oh, Boom. Speaking of the devil.
Speaking of you,
Shebang. and then we have some really sour
I'm gonna share the
lemon candy that's coming out, and it's kind of fizzy, kind of like a malt ball. It's really cool. But that's gonna be coming out Q1. For the TikTokers, get us to 10,000 likes, and we'll give away these 5
Sour Moon Rocks. Sour Moon Rocks. Original Moon Rocks. I lied to you.
Original. You're crazy, dude.
I'm trying to tag stuff and I'm doing horrible at it. So
All right. So some of these questions I don't like anymore.
you don't like the event or tradition?
Okay, you got a good one.
The book fair.
What's your favorite school event or tradition?
The book fair.
The book fair.
Hands down.
Did you get credits for it? We got credit for the book fair
No.
by doing like certain
We,
stuff.
we gotta
like
pay it.
reading. Yeah, we gotta pay. So what did you get from the book fair?
I always went for the history books. Shocker. I know.
Wow.
Yep. Always. Like just constantly. Sorry. I'm also trying to share the live, which you guys should do here on TikTok. But yeah, it I don't know. There's just something about rolling in with like $20 and just loading up on books and pencils and bookmarks and all that fun stuff.
I
was a fan.
never bought anything.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah.
Send
Parker
this.
Rail, who's on the chat, is actually my wife,
No.
Kelsey Rail. She must not have a patient. She says that if you read a lot, you get free pizza. You remember? Did you guys ever do like reading? or-
Readathons.
Oh, ours
like-
was called something else, like something Star, Red Star, whatever. Like you'd read
Red
books, and they're I don't remember what it was called.
Red Star.
And
No.
they would give you points, and then if you would take quizzes for these books, you'd get points, and if you got enough points, either you or your class would get stuff. It was pretty dope. No?
I mean, I remember like a point system, but I don't know if I would say it wasn't like that. It was like it wasn't. I don't know.
Wasn't like that for you? Did you guys ever do like Red Wheel where like you had to donate a bunch of food and stuff and you'd get rewards or points?
It was like Scholastic box tops for us with
Okay.
that, or you cut it off the
Gushers
cereal
and
boxes.
yeah.
Yeah, and everything.
Dang. A lot of work for not much payout, I'll say. If we had some better systems for kids, it'd be like totally incentive your whole life. Like
Right.
treat school, treat life kind of like a game.
Right,
Make
yeah.
it more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, what question do you actually like in this list?
I wanted to talk about your school dance.
Oh God.
I knew it.
Okay, so what? Because they did those like weird elementary school ones. Oh, poor Tim. Tim's got a cold, so if
Is
you
Tim
hear some
crying?
sniffling, he's crying because he's remembering the good old days
Yeah.
in school.
You can hear him sniffling on there. Oh, poor Tim.
Sorry, guys.
Do you want to
I'm
apologize?
supposed to be one that's sad, Tim.
Speaking of sad with
No, we'll get to
my
that
school
later.
dances.
Oh, right.
I mean, I don't know. They were just kind of there. Like, I wasn't a big dance person.
Tim, were you a good dance guy?
No. Not at all.
Dang, really? The babes are at the dance. No?
I-
That's like your one chance to kind of like.
Now stop me. I was never a walk up and hit on or anything guy. I was either in relationships or I was terrified the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah.
In high school, I
You
was
didn't
pretty
have
much
any
tied up.
friends that you could kind of like join a big group, like that kind of happened.
Yeah, but then I just kind of watched them like go off, or I was in relationships, so I
you
went
didn't
with
wanna
like a
dance them?
girlfriend. What?
If you
Dance with
like,
them?
like if you were in a relationship, you wouldn't dance with them at the dance.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your style? Are you a slow guy?
I'm just anything that doesn't get me noticed.
Wow.
I hate dancing.
Dang.
Genuinely, unless it's like the Cupid Shuffle or the Macarena, like
Oh,
I'm out.
You you don't like those either?
No, I can. That's what I can do.
Oh, you can do the
Right.
the boring or
Yeah.
the what do you call them? Like scheduled
the
dances.
ones
or,
where they
like, the
tell you how to
designed
do
ones?
it
Yeah.
in the song.
Some of the country stuff. Can you do country like two step
No, but it's cool.
swing dance?
A little bit.
Tim. Okay. We're
Sorry.
We're not talking. to
You
Tim.
probably
know
shouldn't
what?
talk to me just because I'm.
Yeah, we don't
We're
want you
congested, Tim.
spreading any of that.
Yeah,
Everyone
sorry.
wish-
Line dancing. Yeah.
Line dancing. Thank you, Lori.
Exactly.
Thank you, Lori.
That's something that I like watching, but
it's insane.
I never really know enough. I can kind of get close, but But yeah, I can two-step. I actually
Okay.
danced.
I can
at my
two-step in
wedding.
the metal version.
Since you're
of it.
super lame and so is Tim, how about you ask me about my dancing?
Okay,
This is going.
how about
downhill
your
fast.
dancing and dancing career, as in school dances, and how
Okay.
that relates?
Cool. So I thought. Thanks for asking. I thought school dances were awesome because it was either country music, and we had dances in like 4-H and other like ag stuff I grew up in.
What does that mean? Sorry.
Okay, so for instance, if you're in agriculture and
Okay.
let's say you go to a show or you go to a 4-H event, you show your animals during the week, and then there's a dance at like on the Friday or on the Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So dancing was like a thing, I guess. And then so I knew how to dance like country style growing up.
That's so cool.
And then I would dance like an idiot, of course, at home. I have videos of that.
Hey Tim, do you want to?
Did you have a
Loved Michael Jackson.
Did
learned
you have a
about-
dance every week?
No, like
Well, you said every Friday, so I was
okay, for instance, the 4-H fair is every year,
Okay.
and you
Okay.
show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Got
and then
it.
there's a dance on Friday, or there's a dance Thursday night, or whatever. So that's like your chance to get in there, dude.
Yeah.
With these,
Hey Tim, you should start the.
with these
we hit
older,
10,000.
We did?
with these
Sweet.
older babes, these
Tell-
With
older
older
dudes.
babes and dudes,
Yeah, whoever, like
fellas
that's your
and
chance.
felitas.
Yeah, whatever your style, you get in there, and either one, you're cute because you're young, or two, you're cute because you have guts.
Don't clip that.
Or
whoever's
three, you're cute because you're somebody's relative, or they're like, oh, or four,
out
you're,
of context. This is horrible.
or four, you're cute because they feel sorry for you.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
dude, I had plenty of people who were like, "Oh, you're Abby's brother. Oh my god!" And then I got her entire like niche of lady friends to like
Yeah.
me. But then I learned that they thought I was adorable and not like dateable.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Just for the giveaway, since we did hit the 10, comment 10, and that's how you get entered to win. It's completely random.
1-0.
1-0. Okay.
Anyway, love dances.
Yeah.
School dances were more kind of like make it twerk. Back it up. There were even some dance parties. When I went to dance parties,
I remember.
got sweaty.
I remember going to. There's this thing called. It was outside of school, but it was through. I don't know if it was through like a youth group that was like one of those church
that
funded things
sounds
or
like
anything.
a really fun dance. The youth
It got a little like
a little
a
you
little
know why?
much.
Because everything's so suppressed. We're not going to talk about that anymore. But
We
that's
might be doing a
why.
podcast. I like that your wife commented 10.
Oh, jeez.
She's like,
Like
I
she
want,
doesn't have enough at home.
I want some. But she wants to win
Kelsey,
some.
you deserve them.
It's true.
That's right.
Kelsey, you do deserve them.
I even had
You know
let's
what,
see.
you know what they called this dance though?
What?
Friday Night Live. And
Oh.
I actually do remember there was one, I'll never forget this dance. I went with my friends in middle school, and I went with all my friends that were girls. I was
Right.
that friend.
Of course
I was
you are.
all the friends with like all the girls that everyone was like, oh my God, they're
You're
so
almost
attractive.
gay.
And yes, Steven almost gayed you.
Close.
You know? Just
You were really close.
cap it. Yeah, no, for real.
Okay.
And so I would go, and I remember my contacts ripped out of my eyes, like they both ripped, and so I
Oh.
took them out. So I danced and I
Fine.
couldn't see because I'm
Maybe
was
that
it farsighted?
That's what you need.
And then I just let loose because I was like,
Yeah.
I can't see how they're looking at me.
Yeah, you don't
And
care enough.
I have really bad issues with like self confidence. I was like, I just went, and then I just danced with my friends that were like cheerleaders and all that kind of stuff. And it was great, but it was just fun. It wasn't anything that way.
So I have a friend that dances so hard that he rips the soles out of his shoes. And he's not a good dancer.
Dang.
But he goes in
Love to see it.
hard, and I love the effort.
Right.
So he's known as just going nuts. And then so we take him out of state where no one knows him to San Diego. And
shoot.
Yeah. And we went down to the, what is it called? The Gaslight in San Diego.
I've never heard of it.
It's a cool district.
The Gaslight District.
I think so.
Gaslight.
Gaslight?
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name.
There's bars, there's
Yeah.
dance clubs. There's
Green Light District,
I think it's not.
not the Red Light District.
It's not the red light. But anyway, he was going hard in the paint, and a real dancer, this dude comes up and he's mad. He's really mad.
Oh my
Because
God.
we're just like, we're getting attention, we're dancing.
Now, is this a friend from school?
This is a friend, yeah, from college.
That's
but
how. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we relate it back to the topic. Continue,
Oh
please.
yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
School friend, school dance, but this
School.
is college,
Christmas.
and not during Christmas. And yeah. So this guy who could really dance
Right.
was really pissed because he wasn't getting any attention.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really funny.
That's like me.
So he like almost started like he was trying to start a fight, and we're like, no, we don't fight. We'll just leave. You know.
Right.
Anyway.
They're
So-
breakdance fighting, like
It's like
Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Yeah, exactly. Except he was serious. I'm like, you know what? Like, we're not about that. We're just gonna see ourselves out. Like,
Right,
we're
right,
not
right.
that serious. We're
Right.
not good at dancing. We're not kidding. All right.
What's the next little topic we
Let's
got
see
about
here.
school, so
Let's
we can
see.
rein it back in?
Okay, this is a good one, and we'll
Okay.
cap it here maybe. I don't know.
We still got to talk about the ceiling tiles.
Oh, the ceiling tiles. Is
We're gonna spend a
no,
hot
I just
minute.
mean on this kind of.
Oh, okay,
genre.
gotcha.
All
Gotcha.
right, this one's good.
Okay,
Compare technology.
I read this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Compare technology memories from when you went to school to either now, or just tell us. Date yourself. Let's see what you
Okay,
got.
so I was born in late '93, December of '93. So I was part of that group that was like grew up without the major influx of technology. The internet was very fresh. We were starting to use it.
Was it available to you?
Yeah. It was available, but it wasn't always needed. Most often it was like in the library when you had to look up a source and blah blah blah.
And you would use
And then it's
what?
like What, like Internet Explorer?
Yeah,
Windows
like what kind of
98?
computer? Yeah, Windows
The,
98.
the like the tannish
The
white.
tan, yeah.
Yeah, where it
tan
was like
computer,
a rounded front.
The compact. or
It
the
took
NAS.
a while to connect to the internet.
Yeah, I can hear the dial-up.
Yeah, the
sound,
dial-up.
Can you?
Yep, I sure can.
What would you need to look up at school? Stuff about
Just
books.
like
or-
sources, you know, if you were
Yeah.
doing any kind of
report
research,
or something.
it was like source it, and you'd have
yeah.
to. But the difference is back then, you know, we were all in elementary and like middle school, like screw copy and paste. We didn't know how to do that, so it was just like type out the entire URL.
They would also, I remember, they would restrict me in how many internet sources I could have.
Yep, that was restricted.
So-
Two. I had two. I was
yeah,
allowed two.
So I would go and get, quote, all of my sources.
Yeah.
And then I would go figure out where those books were from. And then I would cite the book, even though I never read the book.
Right.
Never opened the book.
Right, because you grabbed a
I just
piece
grabbed
of it.
it. I was basically like fell in love with Wikipedia before I realized
Right.
what was happening to me,
Right.
what was happening to us.
Right.
As a, we say this a lot as old farts, but like you didn't have access to the answer. Just whoever was the smartest in the room,
You kind of
or whoever had the most confidence
Right.
was right, and you just took it as that. Or whoever who was older than you,
Right.
like your grandma or whoever, you're like, oh, is this the way that it is? And they're
Yep.
like, yeah,
Sure.
that's the way it is. And
Yep.
then you just think that's true. And then now we're kind of revolutionary in the way kids have access to things. They
Right.
can,
Allowed
they
to
can
use
say,
it, but-
are you sure? Because this is what I found on my search, and they don't even know
Right.
how to read yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, for technology is like the cell phone things. Like they were starting to get portable and like flip phones.
Flip phone.
That
I
you know.
had the Razor. Did you have the Razor?
No, I had the AT&T pay to win
The
card.
Cricket.
Like
Oh yeah, nice.
like yeah.
I had a really cool one because my dad lost it in the woods, and we found it like literally weeks later, and it was working. He had already had to get a new one, so it was already working. He's like, "Well, I guess you can have it." Boom. I when I was in college, I was in a research lab, and it was boring. I'm telling you, really boring.
Yeah.
And I had a BlackBerry at that time. Apple wasn't that cool yet, at least in the rural areas. And so I had a BlackBerry, and I played Brick Breaker. Have you ever played
Yep.
that game?
Yep.
I beat Brick Breaker.
You beat Brick
I
Breaker.
beat it.
So Tiffany does. There's some people actually commenting on our
What did I
conversation.
say?
Tiffany, I had the Razor.
Ooh,
The
the
updated
pink
ones
Razor.
nowadays, she
Yeah.
says are cool, which is like the
Oh.
new flip phones, which is crazy.
Which I'm tempted to go back.
The Crazer, yeah,
Dang. Yeah.
yeah,
Too
100%.
bad Tim's not healthy, or he could talk about his typewriter, chisel, and stone days.
Hey, I can tell you how old school I am. I went to school and they still gave out SWATs.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
get swatted once in
I didn't.
second or third grade.
They weren't allowed
Yeah,
to smack
we didn't
me.
have computers at all, so I
computers.
still know how to use the Dewey Decimal System in the library.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually, my library taught that
We
before
did
we were
learn
allowed.
that.
We
Yeah.
had a hybrid, so to be fair.
Sometimes people are like, you know what, you have to learn this before you can just cheat, call it, you
She's-
know?
Samster still has her crazer. That's amazing.
Heck yeah.
Team
I,
iPhone, I agree. I actually didn't get into the iPhone until 2016, but I finally got on, and I won't go back.
My mom tells me stories, of course. She used to be,
With the antenna, with the Nokia.
oh, heck yeah, with the antenna.
Yeah, those indestructible things.
Somebody talked about card cataloging, like you have like the oh my goodness, like the flippers or whatever.
Typewriter Tim.
Holy moly.
Sorry, Kelsey. He called
Yeah.
you typewriter.
Typewriter Tim.
Typewriters.
Dude, that's how I learned. That's a skill I still possess. I
I
took
bet.
Snake was
keyboarding.
legit.
Oh,
Snake was legit.
Snake's still around.
It's still good.
You
I
can
saw
do it.
somebody win the other day.
Oh, I remember
on an
I went-
IG reel.
Snake makes me think of Pong.
Rolodex.
And I went to my cousin's
Oregon
house
Trail.
and played Pong
Yeah.
on the original, like literally
Like that style?
cabinet
Oh,
size.
cabinet.
It was like a 3 foot by 3 foot thing. The television was facing like up. And
Yeah,
and
it was a
then-
table.
It was a table, and then
Yeah.
you could move your toggle, and that's it. And it was technology before I knew it was a thing.
Oregon Trail. I played Tiddlywinks. I don't know what that is.
Tiddlywinks is fun. My sister played Oregon Trail.
Freddy the Fish. Sorry.
Did you guys ever play Operation?
Yeah.
Talk about stress-inducing. Kelsey and I were talking about that at Walmart. It was on display. I feel like some of these old games are
tracks.
coming back.
Yeah.
What about Sorry? Did you play Sorry?
That's my
Sorry?
that and Trouble were my favorites.
I really like Sorry a lot.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna
All right,
announce
Tim.
our
Our
winners.
5 winners.
Announcer was
Gabriel 99,
Gabe 99. Way to go.
Jiffy 9, Jiffy Time, sorry.
Jiffy 9.
Jiffy Time.
That's my thug name.
It's the Gray Heart.
It's the great heart. Ooh, damn.
Congratulations.
Yo boy.
It's your boy.
Mm.
And that's it.
The other one's
Is that
Fukin Cat,
Hey,
but I
that's
know. Yeah,
Fukin.
but-
It's fine.
Love that.
You know what? We're getting a little edgier. Maybe not that edgy, but we're getting
It's
edgier.
close.
there you go.
Damn it.
Congrats all.
So
All
there's
right.
your winners.
Congrats,
Hey,
guys.
you
Thank you.
didn't win,
Keep
tune
hitting the
in.
likes just because you like us. We're gonna move on to the next
You want to move on to the next segment?
segment. Are we talking about breaks?
We can either talk about Christmas breaks in a formal sense, like as a kid or even now. Like, what do you do during Christmas breaks? Did I know Kelsey's family went skiing. Some people
Abby's skiing right now.
is she? Well, I know my
Your
my
sister?
sister. Oh, yeah, my sister skis over Christmas break every year
Right.
with her family. And
Right.
She's teaching Jack to ski. This is, I think, his first year without lessons.
Nice.
I need to get out there. With
I've been snowboarding like twice, and
I
that's
need
it.
to get out there with him. We have our pass.
Which I know. I'm from here, and I don't snowboard.
That's rough.
I'm trying to translate my inline hockey skating onto ice skating to get a feel for that.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that this year.
Cool,
maybe
cool.
not. But so okay, so like in a formal sense,
Yeah. Like
never
I
really.
no.
In
No traditions or anything?
2006, we went to New York City because my mom had a business thing, and we were gonna stay, and then we ended up getting snowed in to New York over Christmas. Like we got there early December. We were there for like 2-3 weeks or something like that, and we got snowed in because we couldn't get any flights back to Colorado because it was like 2 feet of snow over here, and so we were forced to spend. I know. Horrible, forced to spend Christmas in literally the best place to spend Christmas, New York City. It was amazing.
It's like Home Alone.
It is
Except
like
without
Home
all
Alone.
the trauma.
Right. Yeah. And without Tim Curry hunting me down,
Yeah.
which I'd be okay
Oh,
with.
you know what I saw? If you were born in 1990 or earlier, which is just 3 years off from you,
Right.
then you would have been older than
Kevin.
no Marv. Marv.
Marv.
One of the crooks, Marv, the Sticky Bandit.
How old was he?
He was like 30 in that show. 20 something, 30 years old. I didn't say how old he was, but it said if you were born in 1990 or earlier, then you would have been then you're now older than Marv was when he shot the film. So
That's wild.
so I'm 30 and
I just
no,
love
no,
that
I'm
Joe
not.
Pesci went from like Goodfellas to. such a dynamic.
We watched that. We watched 1 and 2 just recently again. I watch it every year.
Yeah, hold up.
They're so good.
Yeah, but I guess I don't really
You don't
have
have
any
one.
Christmas
We grew
traditions.
up with a Christmas tree farm, so we're
Right,
just inundated with
I heard about that.
memories. But we already talked about that. So
Right. Why is hospital
hospital.
is highlighted?
Oh. I didn't know if I didn't know if I wanted to bring this up or not. I forgot I wrote it down.
Do it anyway.
Okay, so in call it late high school and college, I had no Christmas breaks. In grad school, I had no Christmas
okay.
breaks.
All right.
I had to work in a hospital, and at first I was a CNA in an emergency room
Oh,
in
God.
high school, and you got to choose whether you wanted Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day off. And I always chose Thanksgiving Day off
Okay.
so I could work Christmas Day because it's more fun. At that time, again, I'm selfish. Like my family's
Right,
nearby. I
right.
could drive home after my shift.
Right, and you can kind of just pop in.
But yeah, so
Right.
in high school I was working in the ER, and in grad school I was working in the ER for a while, and then I switched over to a research lab, and I would get a lot of credit working there basically when school's out. I know that sounds terrible, but we learned sort of as nerds and academics, if you don't take time off, you get done faster. But you also
Right.
slowly but surely you go insane
right.
if you don't take time off.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you take summers and you take a class, you take winter break and you work or you work in
You're
the
doing
ER,
something all the time.
You're doing something all the time to compete with these people who are, just live and breathe what you're trying to get into
Right.
for med school. So I did that. Don't regret it, but we'll never do it again.
Is
Sorry,
Tim- okay,
that's funny.
I do have to take a break to address
This
this.
is fun.
So Tim,
Tim,
Tim, not
that-
you, Tim.
not this
Tim in the
Tim.
chat.
Tim, that
is
guy.
is him broadcasting to Mars with that headset. Funny joke, but please get your grammar right if you're going to try to roast us. Is he? Yes, actually, we are.
Yes.
We're broadcasting to Mars, the planet, and the company. So
Yeah, and
we're not.
we had this vision of how this show would be created, and it's not necessarily working that way, but I can hear certain things in my headphones that we need to check on.
Yep.
Anyway,
They also look great. So.
all right. So the title of the show is
Yeah.
Breaking Ceiling Tiles.
Now, what is up with that? Why are we calling it Breaking Ceiling Tiles After Christmas?
Well, I didn't plan on this, but today we had round 2 of this, just call it workplace chaos, and had a really high chance of failure,
Right.
but went well. So I thought we'd bring it out,
Right.
talk about it.
Now, you're saying this is round 2,
Yeah.
which implies that we need to hear round
Round
1,
one.
and I got to hear round 1
Because you were not here for round
because I was not here for
Okay.
round 1.
So around Thanksgiving break, you and most people were gone. I think
Right.
for some reason Tim was here. Abby comes in. We were doing something really important.
Oh, so this was this like
It
it was this current. I thought this was like
no,
last year.
No, this is
Oh.
what was
Oh.
it, Tim? Yeah,
2
this
weeks
past
ago.
yeah,
2-3
several
weeks
weeks
ago.
Where
ago.
was I? Was I sick?
I think you were gone. It was on Monday. You were sick on Monday.
Oh God.
Yeah, you were sick. Okay,
yeah,
you
that
were
was
sick.
horrible.
Mike was out
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, it
That's
was on
right.
Monday.
Yeah.
So I was, and I was still moderating the show, but I was
That's
laying
right,
in bed.
yeah.
That's right. Okay.
That's right. So that day, we didn't talk about it, but
No.
that day, actually, now that you bring it to my attention, Abby comes and she comes to work and she's like, "Hey, I'm locked out of my office." So Brandon and Tim help her try and break in. We use every key we have. We probably have 50 keys from this building we inherited. We don't know what any of them do.
Right. Those mystery keys.
At one point in time, I had a key that got her in. So this has happened before. Got her into her office. So we, thought that we could do it again. She couldn't find the key, and we also couldn't break in.
Because when you would normally take off a door, the stuff to take it off is on the opposite side in the office, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to
The
get
hinges.
it's
and
got
we
a piece
couldn't
of
do
tr- and
the
it's got a
credit
piece of
card
trim.
thing
Yeah.
because like Tim's trying to say, I interrupted him, but there's a piece of trim that goes quote backwards, so you'd have to have an L shape to even get access to the little
Right.
thing to open up. Anyway,
Yeah,
so we
got it,
thought,
got
you
it,
know
got it.
what? We know better that there's a mini crawl space in the ceiling, and if you move the ceiling tile, you can potentially get up and over into the office on the other side. So we got a ladder. Somebody said, "Hey, we need the smallest person here."
And
So,
you're like, great.
oh, great. So I get, ready for this Ninja Warrior, which is like the only thing I'm good at in life, if I ever tried. So Tim and Brandon hoist me up on top of this ladder, move ceiling tile number 1, get my butt or knees onto the.
And we have to stop for a second to just talk about the fact of like when you're being lifted up as an adult, it's not a good situation all around.
Yeah.
Like you never want to be lifted as an adult.
I don't like to be lifted like at parties,
Yeah. Right.
But if
right,
I'm
right.
being lifted to I don't know, solve a problem.
break into the ceiling,
Yeah, break an entry into my own room.
your own room.
Well, I had to do it,
Right.
So
okay.
we get up there. There's all kinds of stuff up there. It's not just empty space.
Right.
So anyway, there's all kinds of crap to get out of the way and to dodge and dive and whatever. So I moved tile number 1, moved tile number 2.
We are paused on TikTok, so momentarily we were getting a phone call. We were back.
I can see into the room,
I just saw that. It was
and I see the back of the door has a hook on it and a coat. So I'm like, okay, so I need to get into the room, but I also don't want to get knifed on this hook, coat hook, right?
This is still
This is story number 1.
still number 1.
Yeah, we got time.
Wow. No. I'm surprised because I actually got the precursor to part number 2, and this seems to be like a running issue.
Recurring
with the
theme,
recurring
huh?
issue is like hooks and impalement.
Hooks and
anyway.
impalement, yep, that's what we do around here.
Yep.
To get in. So I jump in there, and I kind of like arch my back so I don't hit the hook, right?
Yeah.
But when I arch my back, my foot goes backwards further than I thought, and actually hits the wall that a coat was hanging on, drags the coat off the wall and rips the coat, and I fall on the ground.
With a sickening thud.
sickening thud.
From the outside of the room.
There's Tim, Mom, Abby, Brandon standing outside. I'm just one thud and nothing. And I'm like, oh no, I ripped this coat.
That's what you're worried about?
Yeah, I was
the
worried
coat?
about the
Okay.
coat, and then I don't know. It seemed like an eternity goes by, and Tim goes, "So can you unlock the door?"
So you're gonna do anything? Your ankle's like sideways.
Yeah, just literally like my.
You look like Peter Griffin when he's laying on the ground
Yeah.
with a goal.
I got a femur just sticking out.
Yeah.
Sticking out. Yeah, and but anyway, that was round 1. We got in.
Got in
'Kay.
with minimal injury.
No injury, but the possibility was quite high.
Right.
I have it rated here, drama 6 out of 10. What do you think, Tim? Is that about right?
the first one.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the
Maybe even
thud.
7.
7.
I was gonna
Because
say
the
when you
thud on the other side of the door is what absolutely, like, you didn't know if he was hurt, because I was like, if he's hurt, then
I
if
need
he
to
can't
get
open
in
the
there.
door, then somebody else got to go over
now
the
another
wall.
person has to go.
and then
over.
they
It was
fall,
likely-
and then they
fall.
get knocked.
Yeah,
It's just like a pile.
And it was
Yeah.
likely to be me because I'm probably the
Yeah,
next
Tim's the
smallest
next
person.
guy,
Yeah.
and it's not really that close though. Like it would have made Tim would have had a difficult time.
Right.
Okay, you guys, are you ready? For
I'm ready
round
for
2?
2.
I'm gonna take a water break.
There is some photo evidence that I would
I don't know how great the photo evidence is, but
but
Oh, that's pretty good.
it's pretty good.
okay.
I can at least pull up the here, Tim, if you wouldn't mind getting close here. We're gonna go ahead and so you're gonna see Mike. TikTok, this is for you. Sorry about the.
Oh my goodness, this is not.
Don't mind me.
going
I'm gonna
well.
knock over the set. That's Parker.
Oh, that's my butt in there.
That's his butt.
The next picture is Mike leaning over on the other side looking in.
Yeah, that's Mike above Tim's office, like Heidi Ho neighbor style. Yeah. So that's a glimpse into.
Your wife never heard
story
round
2.
1.
Oh, she didn't.
No.
Oops.
Oops.
We've
Anyway,
had
okay.
some stuff going
So
on
round
recently.
2, guys.
Okay,
All
so
right.
round 2.
This is
was
today.
Today.
This is today.
This morning at 8:30 a.m.
My context is I'm in the warehouse getting through orders, and I only found out about this because Parker had passed me with an extension cord when you initially came in, right? And you're like, hey, what's up and everything. And then I was focused on that. And then I had came out and I just saw Tim standing near his locked door. Then I went back out here and then I got all my evidence and information either after the fact or through those photos I showed you. So,
Well, that's why I was getting the ladder.
yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even question that, Tim. I was like, well, you
Okay,
can take
so,
the ladder,
so
whatever.
round 2, we think we've learned from round 1. Round 1, we actually replaced the door so it can't lock, right?
Right.
Abby's door.
Right.
Tim's sick, so somebody shuts the door, like privacy, like he's
Yeah.
not here today.
Right,
Shut
right.
his door. He comes in a little later than normal today because he's sick, getting around. And first thing he finds out is his door's locked.
Can't get in.
Can't get in. He doesn't look very happy about this. I'm like, you're sick. Like, I'll do it. Blah blah blah. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, you stay out of it. Yeah, right. Like,
What are the chances we can grab Mike and have him throw his input
Mike's
right now?
right here.
Mike,
All right, when Mike walks over here, we'll have him.
because you
jump in.
guys got to tell it in tandem like you did at lunch because it
We'll
was
have-
so good.
We'll have Mike
Take
sit where
takes
take
Tim's
spot
Yeah, Tim, you can
and tell
obviously-
this story.
Oh, poor Tim. Tim's got a tissue in his nose.
Got
He's
tissue in my
working
nose.
it.
Just all right, Mike,
Your mom was like,
come over here. We're
can
gonna
hear
tell
you.
the round 2 story for everybody.
You don't have to be on camera, but you do have to be
You
on
do
mic.
have to sit on that and talk. So
I already showed the photos anyway. So,
So round 2 goes.
with Steven.
you can sit with me.
sit
Do you
right
want to
here.
sit in my spot?
No, he needs
right
to
here.
sit here
Sit
because
right
there's
here,
a
Mike.
mic. I want to hear him.
Okay.
All right.
Is it off mute?
Yeah,
Mike.
it's just like Tim.
Yeah, but he muted it earlier, so I don't want to make sure.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
All right.
go for it.
Welcome, Mike, to the show.
Yeah,
We're
where are we
talking
at?
about our
Where are we at?
We're ta-
the back of your head looks ridiculous.
talking about the ceiling tiles. So today we think we've learned. We have a ladder. We try the outside of Tim's office. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah.
No one can fit
I'm
in
like,
there.
they were worried about bugging me. I was in there grinding away.
So we said, okay, what about Mike's office? Well, he's actually working. He's like,
Yeah, he's not to be bothered.
We'll
I heard
try-
something like that, and
we'll
I was
try
like,
Parker's
oh,
office.
gosh.
So we tried Parker's office, and then Tim's like, well, if you tried Mike's, then you could jump in and land on my desk, versus just dropping in and rolling on the ground like
Normal.
last time.
Office
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I invited him in.
So Mike invites us in, gets
into
the
my
ladder
house.
set up. Okay,
Right.
this time the ceiling tiles aren't the right width. They're like trim tiles, so they're only the first rail is probably 5 or 6 inches,
Okay.
and then there's a full tile. So now this time we can't just get up and over and get up and over. There's 2 sets of railing that are like 6 inches away from on each side.
Right. Okay.
Oh, we're like, no big deal.
Yeah.
Wonder who's gonna do it.
Yeah, so here I am again. I get up there. It probably took us like 5-10 minutes of just staring at the ground, of just trying to figure out what.
This is you guys
exactly-
in the ceiling.
Yeah,
He's up in the ceiling,
So
and
I'm on
Like
the
the
ladder.
Spider-Man of Denver.
Yeah.
That's a callback, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
on the ladder, and then I put my knees on basically the frame
Right.
of the wall in between the 2 offices,
Right.
and then I switch and get my butt on the frame.
Mhm.
And then we noticed that there's a joist that I could basically do a pull up on, and then lower myself into the office onto Tim's desk.
I was like, how can I help you? I saw him looking down there into the office, and all I saw was equations above his head.
And
I was like, this
it's
is
like a
getting
beautiful
technical.
mind right there.
I was
yeah.
like, this is no easy feat.
Tim's
And
asking
he's
questions
looking
like
down there, and I was like, how may I be of service? And I start climbing the ladder, thinking I'm gonna help.
So
and it
Mike's up
slides
there.
out, and Tim has to save
Oh,
me.
that's right. I was like, what the
oh,
hell?
I didn't know that.
And Mike goes,
It's on
"That's-
wheels."
That's me helping you.
That's
Who-
me helping.
We thought buying a ladder with wheels on the bottom was a good
yeah,
idea.
because you can move it around.
we thought it was
Until
such a
it
good idea.
slides
We
out.
got
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm
This is
up
all
there.
happening. These thought processes while you guys are in the walls and the ceiling.
Yeah,
Correct.
not much time to plan.
Right.
Our
right.
favorite place.
Yeah, this is where we're best.
Where you
Okay.
live.
Okay, so I have my, call it like bicep pull up down,
Right.
and then I figure out, you know what, I'm going to wreck this railing, so I sit back down,
Okay.
and I'm like, I'm gonna change tactics. So I take my shoes off, and I take my socks off so I can grip the wall, and so I don't leave scuff marks
That's-
on the wall.
That's when I knew it was getting serious. Guy takes his shoes off. I was
And
just
then
like,
you know what I did
takes his socks off,
in the
slaps
office?
his foot, slaps his other foot. I was like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
What
Yeah.
are we doing here? He's like, I'm gonna go in like a gecko.
Mike goes, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, will you hold my feet
Will
against
you
the wall?"
hold my feet?
And he's
Hold
like,
my feet.
He's like
What?
this. I'm like, yeah, but like really hold them, you know,
Yeah, like
like not just
iron grip.
yeah, like you're holding me onto the wall. And so he does, so that way I can get my butt over the first 6 inches.
Right. Right.
And then I'm hanging with my feet, you know, on the wall behind me.
So this is technically your feet are you're
Like
in
90
Tim's
degrees.
office.
Yeah, I'm in
and you're on a
Tim's
90-degree angle like
Yeah.
that.
I'm hanging from the joist from the rafter,
You're just
and Mike's holding my feet against the wall, and he goes, "So now I let go?"
so now I let go.
I said, "I guess."
I suppose. And in slow
Mike goes-
motion,
yeah.
you cue the Celine
He
Dion
just
song
dropped
from
him.
Titanic.
He just dropped him. This is it.
You may think there's about to be a crash,
Yeah.
another
I-
tumble, another "Are you okay?"
No, we need
And
to
then the
preface. We need to preface that the wall that from Mike's office that connects to Tim's office, underneath where Parker's dropping down, there's a very expensive computer.
Oh, that's right.
There's a very because Tim does all our graphic, photo, video work.
It was.
It's so
It
expensive.
was. I looked down. I'm like, oh no. There's a printer. There's a poinsettia. There's a snowman full of candy. There's a $3,000 computer,
right.
and there's room for my foot.
Foot single,
Yeah.
singular,
Toe.
toe.
And then Mike's like, I don't know how far that drop is because we're looking at it from the top. Like I don't
the
know.
ceiling.
Yeah.
You're like, no, not the top.
I'm like,
the ceiling.
I'm like kind of swaying there, and I feel my toe touch this desk, and I knew we were in like Flynn.
right.
And then we drop to the floor
Right.
and unlock it.
And you unlock
now
it.
we're gonna get 3 pairs of lockless
Lockless door
door
handles.
handles.
Until we need locks again.
But now I don't know how I'm gonna be needed at work.
Dude, you should just crawl around in the ceiling.
I love crawling around.
Just love it. Love it.
So I gave that drama 8 out of 10.
It's pretty high drama. The "Do I let go" is the quote that I like the most from Mike. Do I let go?
Technically, that may have been higher technical ability than the first one,
Yeah,
but the danger level on the first one with the hook
yeah.
and then the fall at the
And you
I-
fall in.
But the second one
It
required
really-
a second man.
It felt
Right.
like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Without
That's
the
really
planning.
kind of
Or
what it
12.
felt like to
Without
me.
the planning.
Yeah, or 8.
That's how it goes around here. We like to
Right.
plan as we go.
Right. Yeah, 100%. So that
Right.
was
Thanks, Mike.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
glad I
for
could.
thank you, Mike. Oh my God.
You
Just
can stay if you want.
yeah. No, you're more than welcome to stay. Or he walks away. He's like, I'm out of
He's
here.
like, "Yeah."
yeah. Your sweaty ass feet were touching the walls.
Tim didn't know that till lunch, so now he's like, wait, so what part of my desk and wall had your nasty feet on it?
All of it.
All of it.
After you unlocked the door, you just walked around for a little
I
bit,
walked
right?
away.
So there are some
all I got.
closing questions you got here because I'd like to address them, and then afterwards I'm gonna try to Lori Mission Impossible. Dun,
yeah.
dun 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 dun. I'll go ahead and take care of our plugs and everything we're gonna do. We're gonna try to record something off air where we can have me talking to you guys and tell you to like, oh, you should subscribe. There are no more giveaways today, everyone. We're wrapping up. We're gonna do the last questions and everything, but thank you so much for tuning in. So what music are you listening to right now, Parker? Because you got that written down as a nice little
I
closing
have
question.
this as our closing.
Right.
I like doing this.
Right. Nice little catch up, random questions at the
Yeah,
end.
right now I just got addicted to the New Heights podcast, which I'm the last one, I guess. It's like in 134 countries, the #1 sports talk show. It's the
Oh, the Kelsey brothers.
Kelsey Brothers
Okay, yeah.
podcast. It's really good.
Right.
It was a good distraction this week. I also am listening to Breaking Benjamin.
Right.
I used to listen to them a lot, and
One of my all-time favorites, to be honest.
they're a good band when you're not in a good place, but you
Right.
need some support,
Right.
and I need that right now. So I'm listening
Right.
to them.
Right.
And T Swift, we just got a
T-Swift.
couple of her vinyls.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we've
Cool.
been ripping.
Which
those.
ones?
Let's see. Crap. You shouldn't have asked me. One of them.
What are the covers
It's
look
not.
like?
Yeah, the covers are like her with glitter on her face. It's pink-ish. Lover.
Yes, from 2019.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And then let's see. There's
Lover and
more.
Midnights. Okay, so
Reputation, I think.
no,
No,
she
no,
says
that's
Lover and
not it.
Midnights. I'm reading
Oh, wow,
Kelsey
thank
in the
you.
chat.
Thank you.
I
We
really
just take whatever they have.
right.
We
I
just
really
go
want
every once in a
Midnights on
while.
vinyl. I actually need to start. Kaylee and I have been talking about getting a record player and getting some vinyl because we haven't.
actually did that, and it's kind of cool. Like it's
It's
nostalgic.
such a
and
pure
it's-
sound too.
Just
So
sounds
good.
better, and
Way
you're
better.
more focused on the song
Right.
because it's not just automatically going. Like if
Right.
if it stops, you have to go 10 to it.
Right.
And then I think something Tim taught me was taking an artist album by album,
Mm-hmm.
and it forces you to do that. A vinyl, you can't skip around.
Right. Yeah.
So
no,
you
it's
really
great.
see kind of what the artist thought from
Start to finish.
start to finish.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you?
Music that I'm listening to. Really, I've kind of been a little stagnant with new music. I did find this new metal band called Wind Waker, which is just absolute nonsense and chaos, which is fun.
You can do podcasts too if you're doing.
I do
more video
podcasts
stuff.
mostly, and so I have my I'll always plug them. The Dollop,
Yeah.
incredible podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you don't know the concept, look it up. It was at one point it was the #1 in the world. They're hilarious. My favorite comedian Gareth Reynolds is on it. It really tackles like ridiculous points in history, like ridiculous stories and people and everything. And then one guy reads the story to the other guy, and the other guy has no idea, but they just riff back and forth like it's almost
Right.
like improv comedy.
I like the dual call it education and
Right, and then
entertainment.
Comedy. The one of the newer ones I actually found is I don't know if you ever watched this. It was a Nickelodeon show called Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. It was about this kid in middle school who made a survival guide to surviving middle school, and the main three leads are on a podcast, and they like spend about like 5 minutes on the episode, and then they just start talking, and it's completely unfiltered, and it's hysterical because they're my age, and they go, and one of them had addiction issues, and she was going through a lot. One of the others, just going through their separate stories about how, like, one of them actually was on the set of that movie Rust, where Alec Baldwin unfortunately shot that person. It was a horrible accident. He was actually on that set, and they're still going to release the movie, obviously, and everything like that. They went through reshoots, but he talks about that a little bit. It's really cool to hear the perspective of people like in my age group that were famous from like a Nickelodeon show, and to see where that goes.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah, that's
how many
cool.
years on.
That's cool.
I guess
I do have one.
Yeah.
Kelsey sent me this. I think it's called The Daily by Michael. What did I say before? Lombardo.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you're.
Lombardo.
Yeah,
He's pretty famous. It's like
I think he's actually been on the Dollop or their
he's
secondary podcast.
He has a couple others. Anyway, he does this
Yeah.
journal. And some journalists did a deep dive on Taylor Swift, since it's like the year of Taylor.
Right.
A couple of facts I've learned from that make me appreciate her. One was, I guess it might be Seattle or somewhere, there was actually a registered earthquake because
of the
people,
fans, right?
fans jumping outside of the stadium
Yeah.
waiting for the concert.
Yeah.
Okay, second fact I learned, when she announced her Eras tour,
Yeah.
she started bringing in so much business and so much money that other countries literally called them and said, "We will pay for you to come to our country to bring money into
Yeah.
the country."
You know,
over something like almost $1 billion
Right.
in revenue.
well, and I mean, I
from
know
one tour.
people are like, they're like, "Oh, I'm sick of Taylor Swift." Don't be sick of Taylor Swift. She's an anomaly of somebody that you can actually look up to, and that is mega rich and super famous, who's not a piece of crap that we know
Echo
of.
that. And final thing that we learned that makes me love her. What they say on that podcast is one, they're not that they're biased. It's like
Right.
yeah, you're totally biased.
Right.
And that they're Swiftie for life. They're not gonna. But one thing that Michael said on that episode I listened to was that after kind of learning about this research about her and her career, that you kind of take her from being an artist that you like to to kind of revering her for something that's never been done before.
It is what she has done with the Eras tour is it's Michael Jackson-esque,
Sure.
if not above that.
They said something like there's a mom and there's a daughter. Hi, Kaylee. There's a mom and a daughter at the concert,
Yeah.
but you don't know who drug who to the concert. And
Yeah.
I think that was big key
great.
for me because
Yeah.
she connects with everyone, whether you're a fan of metal, a fan of country, a fan of
Right.
whatever. You can
Right.
the love songs are tricky because they're actually really hard personal trials, and
Right.
tribulations that
Right.
we all have and we can all connect to.
You know, there was kind of on that line, there was something you had wrote up here. Actually, I think it was number 4 on the school thing, and we'll kind of wrap it around here and kind of end on this. It was an obstacle in school and how you overcame it. But I'm not going to actually talk about any kind of school stuff, actually. I just, this is going to be our last show until after Christmas because we're going to be, a lot of us are going to be out next week. Like certain days, it's going to be hard to match things up. So we're looking at our next show, unless we do something after hours at home and just kind of do an at-home podcast, live show, whatever. We're not going to see you guys till January 2nd. And I do want to kind of, I'm sorry I have to get sappy here, but I know, boo, make us laugh, you know, feet on walls, blah. But this time of year is so awesome, but it can also be extremely hard on people. You know, people are going through a lot. I know Parker here has been going through a difficult time. I actually have been going through, like, not nearly as difficult, but like a little bit of a difficult time. And just remember, like, yes, we sell you candy, and yes, we like to joke around and have fun here and do giveaways. But at the end of the day, above all else, just check on each other. You know, it can be a difficult time of year for people, and just remember that, like, hey, you know, like, come here, let's laugh. You know, let's laugh. Let's have some fun, but also, like, just check on each other. And
For real, I
Yeah.
appreciate my family here at work. We have an environment that's special here. You know, you
Right.
can be a little bit more personal than you would be, call it in a, I don't know, different setting.
right,
So I appreciate you guys helping me through my issues of late. But yeah, these times are always full of joy and always full of hurt, you know.
yeah.
But anyway,
Enough of that
enough of that.
gross emotion.
I
Ew.
would like to give a huge shout out to Tim, to Steven, to Abby for being on the show, for
Right.
Mike popping in, for Mom letting us use her phone
Nice
to
phone.
shoot, for AMR
Right.
for helping us out, and for everybody getting us off the ground this year. I think might be our last
This is the end of season 1.
episode for season 1.
Right.
And so we're going to get better for season 2, and we'll keep
We're
kind
gonna
of moving around and seeing how
kind of feeling it
how
out.
we fit.
Yeah. Well, and another thing is, like, the opportunity to do this is just really cool because we've always said since day one, it's like this is a way to connect with the people that we show our product to.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully over the past few months, we've kind of shown to the people here that it's like, hey, like, you know, you can come in and, you know, have a discussion. You can win some free candy. You can hear me talk about, you know, singing and then not be able to do it because I have, like, social anxiety with it. Or you can see us, like, you know, when we started out, we thought we had to have all these bits and all these, like, scheduled things. And it's hilarious to see how this is, like, just evolved into just a conversation. And it's great.
Devolved into a
Devolved.
fireplace chat.
Right. A fireside chat. And that's kind of what
Fireside chat.
we're kind of feeling that right now. But
All
that
right,
is
dude.
enough whiny stuff for me.
Boo-hoo and happy holidays.
Boo-hoo and happy holidays. I will say, Parker, if you wouldn't mind on the screen here pulling up so I can read off our plugs, we will get a
yes.
recorded thing.
Oh, yes. Hold on. Sorry. I didn't know that's what you needed.
Kaylee, I do not understand what you're doing right now, but thank you. Okay, so, guys, make sure you're subscribing and following us on Amazon. Did you know you could do that? Apparently you can do that. No.
Yeah. I did know.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where you can archive all this stuff. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We don't mention it here, but we do have an Instagram. Follow us there. Obviously, here on TikTok, we're getting pretty close to the 13,000 sub goal that I set a couple weeks ago. So we'll keep
Dang.
going up on that. And, yeah, make sure you're also checking out our products on TikTok Shop, Amazon, but also we have a website, and we do have some exclusive
We
stuff
do
there.
have one exclusive
We
thing.
do?
We have
Yeah.
peanut butter freeze-dried taffy.
Yeah, peanut butter freeze dried
And
taffy.
there's only like 40 units, so if you want it.
Yeah, and I sold one this morning, or we sold one this morning. So there's 39 units,
There's
guys.
39.
So
All right. Well, happy holidays.
Happy
folks.
holidays, everyone.
Thanks so much for joining us this season, and hopefully we'll
season 2,
see you around.
up, up, up.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.